With spring here, summer here, the one thing I hate about this time of year is ticks. Oh my gosh. I literally think they're the Antichrist. They're bloodsuckers, they're the worst, and ticks come in multiple fashions, like we know. Regular ticks, deer ticks, all those, the big kind, and then the true devil incarnate are seed ticks, chiggers, all those little bugs. And so today we're gonna talk about like what we do to manage those, because here in Tennessee, they are atrocious. I mean, I'll give you some horror stories. I've been seed tick bombed, I've been tick bombed so many times where literally, I think I'm dusty and I look down and I'm covered in thousands and thousands of ticks. They're the absolute worst. And there's nothing you can do about it at that point. I have some unhealthy solutions, but let's talk about how we manage ticks and how we get through that. Key aspect, I'm not pulling up my pant leg for nothing here. I always overlap my base layers to my socks. And it's hot out. And so I always recommend to people, base layers wick moisture, wick sweat. I'm wearing heavy base layers right now. But you could wear the lightest base layers in the world. Their job is not to keep you warm, it's to wick moisture. And so I will always overlap this because this is an entry point to your skin. The other thing I'll do, always permethrin your socks. Your socks are so crucial to getting all the ticks off your skin because they're gonna come up through that way. Next thing I always recommend, tuck in your base layers on your skin. Get those nice little love handles. They always come in right through those areas, so I always tuck in everything. Like basically I'm trying to seal my skin off. I will also permethrin all around here. Like I'll dose everything, but I will literally, like this will be soaking wet in permethrin. The other thing you can do if you really want to be hardcore, I've seen guys duct tape off their pant sleeves down here and up here. And you may think that's crazy, but wait till you get covered in 10,000 ticks. Duct tape is wonderful comparison to that situation. Other thing, I will douse my neck gaiter. I always wear a neck gaiter, kind of crazy, but no, this is another entry point right here to keep all the ticks off you and what to do. So yes, I have a neck gaiter. Again, another entry point, doused with permethrin and wearing just to be that protector guard on your skin. I also always wear gloves. I think it's crucial to keep it off your skin because like, man, you've been seed ticked, you've been tick bombed, they'll be all over you. That's how I realized originally that I was covered in ticks, because I looked at my hand, I was like, oh, I got some dusty hands, where'd that come from? And I looked and it's literally trillions of particles crawling across my skin. So gloves, important. Be cognizant. This is not so much of a tip of how to get ticks off of you, but be cognizant. It's like if you're walking in bedding areas, like ticks don't mass migrate across America. They're not doing it. They're literally like staying in their area. They don't move around, they don't migrate. They only move via animals. And so if you're in an area where deer have been bedding or lots of high concentration of deer, there's gonna be ticks everywhere. We have prime examples where like, we know certain pockets where we hunt, unequivocally there's ticks everywhere. And like we've been in there for a minute and be covered in hundreds and hundreds of ticks. Deer bedding areas are huge hotbeds for ticks. So just be cognizant of that when you're going in there. Like I know certain pockets, I'm going fully Iron Man style, ward out, ready to go to keep the ticks off. And then finally, like very important, like when you're getting undressed, do an assessment of your clothes. Like don't just like tear your clothes off and on the ground. Like I've seen so many times where I've taken off my clothes and I've had like all these ticks all over me. I'm just like, it's not my problem, it's my wife's problem or something. And then all of a sudden like my kids have ticks and I'm like, I'm an idiot. Be cognizant of like where you've been, what you've been doing. Do an inspection, always check all the areas to make sure you're good to go. You're not just traveling around with ticks. Check your body parts, check all that, because trust me, you do not want to get Lyme's disease. You don't want to get all this ticks, all the diseases that they carry, they're horrible. I know guys that can't eat meat anymore because of a tick infection. You just don't want that stuff. It is the worst. So wash your clothes. We recommend a good light grade detergent for our detergent to washing the clothes off, air drying, hang drying it, but always do an inspection. Some unhealthy things I don't recommend, but this is what I do. So this is super unhealthy, probably a little weird. I found that when ticks are on me, so I'm covered in ticks and I've been there more times than I would ever admit to, I will take duct tape and start taking tape and trying to get all of them off, because like it's not that sole big one. Those guys are my friends compared to those little micro ones. When you have so many ticks on you, you can't even see. Like, I'm literally taking tape. I've also found they hate DW40. I've taken a towel, just doused DW40 and just wiped it on my skin just to get them off. That fluidness, that viscosity from DW40, they pounce right off. I immediately go take a shower after that, but that's important. Controlled fires. If you could do controlled fires in your woods, it's kind of a big step. Huge. I've seen 50, 100% reduction in ticks by burning your woods. That eliminates a lot of ticks. Won't do it entirely, but like I've seen areas that have gone 3 cycles, 3 seasons of controlled burns, and their ticks are non-existent. But again, deer populations rise, heavy concentrations of deer, you're gonna get ticks. They're gonna move all around. Little side tip, I've definitely found the biggest driver of antler growth is ticks. When ticks are down, antlers get bigger. When ticks are abundant, antlers get smaller. The amount of diseases these animals, these creatures, these bugs, insects carry is astronomical. And so if you lived your entire life with ticks on you nonstop, how healthy would you be? Would you be growing big bones? Would you look like Arnold, building giant muscles? No, you'd be sick, you wouldn't be eating meat, you wouldn't be doing anything. And that translates perfectly, logically to deer. You want deer to be successful, eliminate your ticks. Controlled fires, do what you need to do. We got an airplane over us, but we got a low cast. It is beautiful out and it's cool out, but yeah, that's what we're doing to control ticks. Don't let ticks drive your presence in the woods. That is the absolute worst. I hate when my kids are like, I don't want to go out because I got ticks. No, ticks should not be limiting your factor going out of the woods. Use simple steps, put some strategies in place. So you get out there, you get your scouting done, you're spending time in the woods. The more time you're in the woods, the more you learn, the more education you have, you're just increasing your odds of getting on bigger deer, chasing whitetail. So don't do that. It can be terrifying. Some people are just bug phobes and all that's entailed. And trust me, like I don't enjoy ticks, but still, I don't let that be the limiting factor for me going out of the woods, doing what I need to do in the off season, because it's God's creation, man. Enjoy it, love it, be with it.